The following is an exclusive presentation of the NCCU Sports Network.
Drive, lost a hand on the ball, is loose on the floor, picked up by KJ, and he'll pick it up now fully. KJ across midcourt, a bounce pass down low, Parks, and with two hands, he pushes it through.
And that's the luxury of a guy like KJ, our center.
Bucket. And a wild three from Blake Bozeman is no good. Rebounded by McDonald, and numbers for North Carolina Central. Crossover dribble from Jordan Parks, and he lays it in west side.
And that's
back to Hilliard, and Hilliard will reset with 14 on the shot clock. Hilliard now moves to his left, takes a pick, now drives to the bucket. Double clutch layup up and good.
Yeah, he's as good with the left hand as anybody in the conference, and you see that.
The Eagles, here's Hilliard with it now. Hilliard now holds on to, goes right side of Parks, it goes right back to Hilliard. Hilliard now goes to drive right side, finds himself open and lays it in after two Morgan State players collide to each other on a great pick set on the backside. On his right, on the right side of the floor now. He moves back to his left. Now Javara at the top of the perimeter. 9 seconds left. He's going to drive. Euro step, left side layup. Oh my goodness. KJ, the Norwegian sensation with the fantastic Euro step. And now a lob backside swatted away by Jordan Parks. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. And the keys of hell court. North Carolina Central, the 2013-2014 MEAC champions, are your 2014-2015 regular season conference champions.
You know, it's a win, so I really can't complain too much. You know, I don't think we came out defending and following the scouting reports and following the game plan. Number 23, Hampton had 17 points, and he didn't dribble the ball not one time. Obviously, we said the kid is a shooter, don't help off of him, and he's getting look after look after look. In those areas, we have to improve. I thought the critical stretch was with 4 minutes in the first half where we kind of got a little bit of separation, kind of got into a flow and a rhythm. We didn't make layups at the beginning, you know, at the rate, and we got to learn how to play through contact and play through the bump. We came out open in the second half. We got some separation as well, and then once again we had 2 mental errors, and it allowed them to cut the deficit back down under 10, and you know we were able to sustain from there. But you know, all in all, I'm pleased. It's a victory. This is the lowest percentage shooting team in the league, but you'll never know that because everybody that we play is we're gonna get their best shot, and we just got to understand that, and we're putting that in our guys' head night in, night out, and they understand that, man. So hats off to them. They fought, and we came out with a victory. We knew they were going to kind of ISO him at the high post. They like to do that a lot. And, you know, we had some things that we wanted to do to defend him. And we followed the game plan to perfection with him. And I think maybe a little too much that we kind of took our eye off the other guys, and they were able to open it up and hit some jumpers. And even in this first half and even in the second half, Blake Bozeman, you know, he's a good player. He hit some threes, but they were uncontested. We had bad hands on that. So we have to learn to do that at a high rate at all times. Right. Foul trouble, you know, so once he do that, it disrupts his rhythm. He got to come sit with me. He had 2 fouls. I couldn't put him back in to finish the half, you know, so he got to continue to get himself going, but he's super productive and super active when he get in there.
Were you pleased with how your team was able to limit their second chances, or did you feel like they didn't really do that?
You know, I thought they hurt us on the offensive glass. You know, they had 11 offensive rebounds, and I think in one sequence they got 3 consecutive rebounds, and that's just, you know, I got to do a better job of teaching the box out, and, you know, we don't even call it boxing out no more. We just call it hitting. Go hit somebody and go secure the rebound. But credit Morgan State. You know, they're a reflection of their coach, and Todd is a really tough coach, and their teams are notoriously tough and consistently tough throughout the years, and you know this team is not going to be any different.
Can you talk about Nimrod Hilliard's ability to get into the lane and score?
We thought one area that we could attack them on was ball screens, you know, and him just being able to put his shoulder down and turn the corner. I jumped on him a couple of times in the first half because he got to the rim, but he just didn't finish. and he has to learn how to absorb the contact. He's not a big guy, but he got to go off and put his shoulder there and have a low center of gravity and get to the rim and finish. He did a great job in the second half of doing that. So, he's our heart and soul, and it goes through the point guard. And once he's getting in the lane, creating for others, it helps out Jordan, it helps out Anthony, and it helps out KJ.
Coach, 21-6 so far. I think 13-0 in the MEAC. Is this where you expect to be at this point?
Honestly, we take it one day at a time. I know that's cliche. I know that's not a great soundbite for the story y'all want to write, but I'd be lying if I told y'all looking down the road. I don't even know who we play next. I don't know when we play. My staff has to tell me that. I don't even know what time practice is tomorrow. So, I just think you got to have tunnel vision as a coach, man, because you start looking ahead, you forget about, the little things. I told our kids the other day, it was funny. We were walking outside, and I stopped everybody, and I picked up a penny off the ground, and I put it in my pocket. And they were like, Coach, what you doing picking up pennies? And it was a perfect analogy and segue to what we need to do with this team. Like, you can't look at the dollar bill. Look at the pennies and add up all the pennies, and then you'll have enough money in your piggy bank. I'm a penny guy. When I grew up, a penny could buy you some gum, a moon pie, and you get enough of them, you could get you an icy. Where I'm from. And that's embedded in me, so I don't care how much money I make or how privileged people think I am. I'm going to pick up a penny or a dime or a nickel or a quarter if I see it on the floor. And I just told them that's what we have to do. We have to continue to pick up pennies. Now, our pennies ain't necessarily monetary value out here. Our pennies is boxing out, following the scouting report, making the guy go left when he should go left, and things of that nature. So, you got to be creative when trying to target these kids, because trust me, this is a different generation right here.
At the beginning of the season, you didn't know the identity of the team, which is normal. You didn't have them. So what is the identity at this point in the season?
Defend, and do that, and everything else falls into place. But we have to defend. And, I told our guys, I think they flashed something on ESPN the other day, social media, whatever, that we were number 2 in the nation behind Kentucky. I was disappointed that we weren't number 1, because we haven't played our best defensive effort yet. And, we might slip a little bit because these guys shot 40% from the field, but, we just have to understand that's who we are. And, once we do that, everything else tends to take place. It happens, okay. Yeah, they did. We had a good breakfast this morning, and they just came in the locker room and spoke. So it was a bit emotional. We went through a lot of things together, but I tell our guys, you play. It's not about you. Despite everyone coming in here cheering and it's not about that. It's about the pioneers, the trailblazers who paved the way before you. And that 92-93 team, I don't want to speak about it in third person, but that was arguably the most talented team in North Carolina Central history. And we were able to accomplish some things and create a culture and a legacy in which, we expect these young men to uphold. So that's their responsibility. And we may not be in the gym all the time, but we far away looking, and our spirit still remains, and that's how it's supposed to be. It's been great. I told the guys, you mentioned a word that I really don't like, and that's co. I don't really like nothing co, except for my co-pay with my insurance. And, I don't like sharing anything. I'm spoiled. I was the baby of the family, so I ain't like sharing my stuff. And I don't like sharing regular season titles. I like it outright, but, obviously it's a great feat. They get a chance to add a banner, but, we know that no one is going to send us any roses tomorrow. They ain't going to bake us a cake. They're not going to give us any cookies because we co-champions or whatever. We got a lot of work. And the crazy thing is, when I got the job, first thing people said was like, man, just win 5 games and y'all be good. And we did. We accomplished that. And then the next year was beat A&T. Then the next year was, okay, let's have a winning record. Then let's get 20 wins. Now let's win the regular season. Like it goes on and on. So the expectation of the people, they don't care about the co-regular season, and neither do I. So it's great. It's great having that luxury. It means the program has evolved, and, with expectation comes a certain amount of success and respect that, this team and other teams before them have rendered. just think it's phenomenal, man. You know, you see Arizona and Gonzaga, you know, that we're trailing. Like, enough respect to those programs, but they get an opportunity to pay like 10 games against teams that they know they're going to beat. When we play, every game is a 50-50. It's a toss-up. It ain't no guarantees for us. You know, we may get 1 or 2 in here, but other than that, every team that come in here has the potential to beat us, and it's not really a clear-cut advantage. So to do that and not lose a home game, you know, for a while, I don't know the streak, 32, 33, whatever it is, you know, it's a testament to our fan support and a spirit that's in this gym. And, you know, it's like home. You know how you was a kid and you say, look, I'm ready to go home. You know, we found solace where we were going. And I think they treat it just like their house, man. And, you know, they got undying support in here, so it's great. I talked to other coaches around the nation, and I'm pleased because it could be worse. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm never going to be pleased because it's just not good enough for me ever. I hold myself accountable more than anyone. I'm my own worst critic. So if I'm watching film, if Anthony's not in the gap or on help side where he's supposed to be, I critique that, and we come back to practice, and that's what we talk about. You know, but that's part of building men, you know, and that they have a responsibility to be the best. I tell them all the time, I say, look, I love my wife to death. All right? There's not another person out there for me, unless Beyonce wanted. But we'll get into that. But when I go home every single day, no one runs to the door and asks me, how was your day, Daddy? You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's like when you're building men, we're kind of like field goal kickers in football. No one notices us until we mess up. You can do the right thing, but until you mess up, that's when everyone knows your name. So I tell them, look, you don't get credit for doing the right thing. You're supposed to do that. So that's what we do. We set the bar up high and try to exceed those expectations. Thank you, guys.
Jordan Parks joining us now. If you'd like to make an opening statement about today's win.
It feels good. I think we're starting to get on a roll. It's a couple of things we need to clean up, but overall, a win is a win, and to get out of here and keep the momentum and things alive in the building is always great.
No open the floor for questions.
You guys were able to shut down such a close. How important was that going into the game?
Super important because we know he's like a large percentage of their scoring, and he's really like aggressive and always in attack mode, going for offensive rebounds. So taking him out the game kind of takes away splash plays, which gives the team momentum ultimately. So that was good, and I think our team did a good job defensively on that.
Well, you were able to shut down Blossom 23, got a lot of open looks, made a lot of baskets. What happened there?
I think that's just like a slippage in scouting report. We got to be sharper with things like that. We have to know who's the shooters, who to run off the line, who to keep from driving. So that's kind of a little bit of the things that we need to clean up, but I'm sure we'll get it right.
You started out pretty hot from the field. You made, I think, like 8 straight points, and then kind of cooled off at the end of the first half, second half. What happened for you?
Foul trouble, man. It's hard. Like, these rules are hard. And, you know, I don't have nothing against no refs or nothing, but it's just super hard. And trying to play aggressive, and you get a ticky-tack foul, and then things just don't go your way.
So is it something you kind of have to learn how to play through? And
Yeah, I've been dealing with it all season, and I think, like, around this time, I really just need to stop. And, you know, I need to stop. Going to the bench early kind of, you know, it hurts. So, and I know I don't like it personally, and I'm sure my teammates don't like it. So, just got to stop getting little ticky-tack fouls and just always play with my hands up.
Coach Roten told us a story about how he found a penny outside and stopped everybody to pick it up and told you guys to collect more pennies, something like that. How often does he tell you stories kind of like that to pass on lessons?
He is the analogy king. He knows how to make a story out of anything. Like, the littlest thing he knows how to apply to life. So it's like, you know, all day long when you see him, you just getting little, as I like to say, jewels drop. So he just tells stories, man. But like, a lot of the guys listen and they really take it because, like, everyone doesn't come from, you know, privilege. So he makes a lot of things, you know, relevant to what we've experienced and to the real world. So it's always great to hear those stories.
Is it easier to listen to what he's saying if he says it to you in a story versus being like, go out there and play defense?
I think it's easier when he puts into a story because it's a little bit of humor and it's more easy to take in rather than someone just. Although he does yell at us to tell us to go out, but rather than someone just yelling at you and telling you something, it's easy to hear it coming from a calm voice and someone who knows what they're talking about.
Did the 92 or 93 team tell you guys any stories, or kind of what did they tell you?
We spoke with them earlier. They basically just went through, a bunch of just crazy stories of how their team came together and stuff. But most of all, their coach came and he spoke with us just now in the locker room, and he just basically told us that we can't do this without God. So to always have God with basketball, without God, none of this matters.
Can I ask you how comfortable you're feeling guarding the pick and roll when you have to show and then get back into the lane?
I feel very comfortable. It's just the fact of getting back and just showing your hands so that you don't get the small fouls. That's the hard part about it. But I think we've been doing a good job guarding pick and rolls and knowing when to hug, when to hedge, when to let people through. And although we let them get a couple of easy buckets, I think overall the screen execution was pretty good today.
You pulled down a double-double today. What was it like going up against what was it, tall Morgan State team?
Man. Today, to be honest with you, I got so lost into the game, I really don't know. I could say for the first time, I really lost track of time, and I was just playing, and I think that's a good thing though. So all the surrounding, I didn't let anything affect me, and because even at the end of the game when we were subbing out, I didn't even realize there was 46 seconds left. When I looked up at the clock, I said, "Wow!" The game went by super fast.
You talked about being subbed out. You got to go out with the five that started with you. What was it like when you were able to go back to the bench and you heard the applause?
That's always great to hear, but it's even better because now I get to see a different perspective of the game. I don't always get to watch from the bench, and I actually love to be down on the bench and cheering my other teammates on and watching them do great things and bettering themselves. So it's always a good thing. But with the fans, we love them, and they love us, so it's always a great vibe.
Jordan, you were part of last year's team, and now this year as North Carolina is now conference co-champions, depending upon what Norfolk State does. How does it feel to be able to win back-to-back championships?
Well, we didn't win back-to-back yet. Right now we're co-champions, so it don't feel too good yet. When we get that actual championship and that regular season championship on our resume for the second time, then things will be great. That's always a good feeling. Back-to-back a championship alone is great. So back-to-back and to be known as a champion and part of teams that help change the program is it's like a tremendous and surreal feeling.
The third equipment is up next. It was a physical game down in Moore Gymnasium. How do you feel as a gear?
We just have to be super strong and just have fight. I think last time we played, we had a big problem with second chance points and allowing them to rebound offensively. So it's just about being, programmatic and just knowing, come out and do your job and whatever your role is and to execute, and then just come out with some type of team cohesiveness and things will fall into place, and hopefully by this game we'll be playing our best basketball.
Jordan Parks, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I think we're getting better as a team, but we still got a lot of little things that we have to fix, and we do that every day in practice as far as defense and being in the gaps and just working at getting better as a team. But all in all, it's a good win.
What was the biggest challenge defending?
We were in the gap sometimes, but sometimes we were overly in the gaps, and that's why they got open shots. So we have to learn how to be in the gap and also stunt and get back to the man and run the man off the line, especially if he got to feeling it. I think his number was 23.
What did the scouting report say about 23? Do you remember?
We all know he was a shooter, and like Coach told us, he scored however many points without even dribbling. So we got to do a better job of running him off the line and making him put on the floor.
What do you have to do to make sure there's not that kind of disconnect next time, between what the scouting report says and then what you actually execute?
And that's just communication. We all know we talk every day in practice, and we got to get better at that every day and just work because stuff like that can't happen down the future.
It seemed like you were able to turn the corner on the high pick and roll.
Right.
They never really solved that. You kept getting to the rim.
Right.
Did you feel that your concentration improved in terms of finishing those once you got all the way?
Yeah, coaches, they stressed to me to keep turning the corner, and I really just saw an opening and tried to turn as much as I can. And if they overhelped, I found my teammates. So I was just trying to do whatever they gave up.
Were you surprised they didn't make a better adjustment? I mean, even by the end of the game, we were still
Right.
getting all the way to the cup.
Right. Well, I kind of figure it as like a pick your poison, because like if they do overhelp, the other teammates are gonna roll, and then we have a flash man coming up. So it's really pick your poison.
They don't want to get dunked on by Jordan.
Yeah, we all seen that.
Do you feel like you guys are where you need to be with only 3 games left in the regular season?
Nowhere near. I think we got to get a lot better, and that comes in practice, like I keep saying. And we just got to get a lot better every day in practice and become that team.
The 92-93 team was here. What kind of did they say to you guys, and what did you take away from meeting them?
I think the number one thing I got from them is just how tough they were, and how everything wasn't the same, and how we got to be a lot more tougher. Just hearing their stories and what they went through, and it was good to hear, and I like to hear it. And then we just got to be tougher.
What's it been like adjusting from Vermont to SEC, starting to pick up steam? What's it been like?
Right. At first, like I told somebody in the beginning, coming here you have to learn. So coming here, I had to learn a lot and learn the system and learn how to talk and interact with coach. So that was the biggest adjustment. And now that I'm learning, and me and coach are talking a lot more, it's coming a lot easier.
Chemistry been?
Yeah. And that builds in practice and every day. That we're just getting a lot better.
You get to be a part of a team that's right now sitting as co-champions, depending upon what Norfolk State does. But how does it feel to be a part of this team to accomplish what you guys have done this year?
It feels great, and I love winning, but I'm greedy. Especially coming from the teams I come from, I want to win as much as possible. We want to win everything. So really, I'm not satisfied at all. We're not satisfied, and that's our mojo, is not to be unsatisfied. So that's what we're gonna keep doing.
Saturday rolling into Bethune-Cookman was a physical game down in Ford Gymnasium last time out. How do you feel rolling into Saturday?
We just got to execute and play our game. We're not really worried about them. We're just worried about us, and we control us, and that's what we always say. So we just got to do work, go into practice and work on it. Thank you.
CBS. That stands for Car Buying Simplified. Shop CBS Mitsubishi in Durham or choose from over 500 quality used vehicles at any of our 6 convenient locations. Hurry to CBS Mitsubishi at CBSQualityCars.com.
This has been an exclusive presentation of the NCCU Sports Network.